Oil is more than a commodity. The reason why oil is such a contentious issue between the OPEC countries is that it's just a contentious issue. The US is not trying to take market share because it wants to make more money, and Saudi is not trying to protect market share because it wants to get more money. This has far more important geopolitical ramifications. For Saudi Arabia, oil is the only leverage it has against the United States. It's the only leverage it has against the world. And when you see the way that the US invaded Iraq, Saudi Arabia is wary that a cowboy president could come at any time and decide that after Iraq it's time to go to Saudi Arabia. And in fact, many believe that the only reason the US did not go or plan an invasion of Saudi Arabia is because Iraq did not go very well. And anybody who wants to add fuel to this theory need only listen to the leaked phone call between the former Qatari Prime Minister and Gaddafi, whereby the former Qatari Prime Minister states that he met with US and British officials to discuss dividing Saudi Arabia into 5 different countries. Whatever your belief with regards to this, the reality is that without oil, Saudi Arabia has no leverage against the United States. It will be unable to curb any potential US aggression. And the reason why I start with this point is because US policy on oil is driven by a never again attitude. In 1973, Saudi Arabia cut oil off from the US and it plunged the world into a recession. The reason being was that Saudi Arabia protested US support for Israel. In other words, it was a successful attempt by King Faisal at the time to strong-arm the US. And the US essentially since then has been stocking up on reserve oil to make sure that it never again becomes strong-armed by any nation outside of its borders. And this is why when we look at this oil price and the way that the measures that Saudi Arabia and OPEC are willing to go to ensure the protection of their market share, this is the real reason. It's not just economic reasons. And this is why when we see this truce that's taking place between the different countries, it's not because Russia and Saudi Arabia suddenly saw eye to eye. It is because Trump has promised to cut production. Trump has promised that he will not take the market share when OPEC cut production.